Same reason a right-winger might decide to actually crap on Israel. It's convenient to the bigotry and the large audience who wants racism and anti-Semitism while claiming it's something else. Yeah, I mean, they don't even really do that, right? Like, they flip-flop around Israel, but the only thing that they're actually hard on is Jewish people. Okay, like, they're just anti-Semitic. Right, that's their anti-Israel stance. It's always about Jewish people. It's fucking crazy how they get away with it, man.
And so the funny thing is if you know me.
But literally, Asmongold, like 3 seconds ago, he was like, what did he say? He was like, stop caring about Israel. Stop liking Israel. Yeah, they stopped pretending over the past 2 years. All right, welcome back. I am J-Star. This is the J-Star broadcast. And today, I have a very special event planned. Okay, you see, I'm going to be rewatching an old video by Leaflet. This is a Leaflet classic right here, okay? The title of this video is, The R-Words Are Trying to Cancel Me Again. And this video is kind of old, okay, at the time I'm recording this, it is 3 months old. It came out on March 17th. But I think this video is really, really interesting. And it really is a distillation of who Leaflet is and what she's all about. So, for context, before I play this video, okay, you need a little bit of background. Leaflet was under fire because of some stuff that she said like a day before or a couple days before, where she tweeted out basically that like that loli, which is simulated child sexual abuse material. She was saying that it's like actually awesome and like we love it and it's so good and like there's nothing wrong with it and blah blah blah. And of course some people took issue with this and they were posting some of her clips about how she loves Hitler or something. That's basically what I remember, okay? I haven't rewatched this video yet, okay, but I have technically pre-watched it because I reacted to it 3 months ago, but I remember this video being really good, so let's watch it.
Bint came back and is like kind of mad at me, very mad at me. VTube has reached the now I don't like Hitler, but you could argue that he was a cool guy territory.
You think Hitler was?
Why's the audio so shit? His kind of whole method. Is that what my audio sounds like, or did they just download this in like freaking low resolution? Like,
oh yeah, also I forgot to mention, Leaflet allowed a child in her Discord to get groomed by one of her moderators. Okay, that's important.
I'm confused.
You think Hitler was very...
That happened. That was revealed like right before
this. First off, nobody can argue that Fuentes isn't a fucking troll, and his kind of whole method is to like kind of rile people up, right? And what he's saying is not even untrue, which I'll explain in a second.
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna get clipped.
You think Hitler was very...
Yeah, I literally said that it was gonna get clipped. Like,
cool. Yes.
And what he's... Yeah, I literally said that because I knew that this would happen, right? Like, I literally called the game before it even happened. I'm like,
yeah, got him.
I don't even want to call that Nostradamus because it was just like a fact of it. You know, it's like looking on the radar and seeing the clouds coming in and being like, I think it's gonna rain, guys. Like, it's not even like that crazy, right? And what he's saying here is not even untrue, which I'll explain. It's not.
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna get clipped.
You think Hitler was very cool? Yes.
And what he's saying here is, how come they didn't edit that out? You would think, would they edit it? Wait, did you edit this? Julio, you didn't do it this way, right? I didn't watch the new video that you released on this. They did this. Wait, you did this. Okay, never mind. Untrue. Totally. So there are ways that you can take. So I'm just analyzing this, right? This is total analysis. I'm stepping back and I'm like looking at the whole picture, right? What he's saying could be true under specific circumstances. So what is wrong about that? Like I get it from their point of view, but like, does this convince anybody? Like, how bad are the zombies nowadays? Because like, there's no way. Hitler is cool. Could be true.
So she's saying that Hitler is cool under different circumstances. Okay, what are those circumstances? Right, and also, why does it matter? Because we're not in those circumstances, right? Like, you could say, like, oh, if we were Nazis, we would think that Hitler is cool. You know, okay. Alright, well, yeah, you know, Nazis did think Hitler was cool. We're not Nazis. Okay, or at least, we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be. But whether or not we are is still, you know...
The thing that confuses me is like, hold on, so you're meaning to like to paint a bad picture of me, but then you just uploaded it normally? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't get the angle. It's like the only thing that you show is that you don't get it, right? That's like honestly, this is like a litmus test. It's like I explained it like as clear as possible, as clear, concise, and like as logically as possible. And if like you don't understand what I'm trying to say, then it's like I don't know. You might just be a quango, you know? Like I don't think anyone can say that he wasn't, because he was cool to his people for sure.
One of them, I'm tired of pretending he's not.
Yeah, that's not what Quingo
It's
means.
the same thing as saying like, well, you know, the uniforms that the Nazis have were cool. They are.
That was another thing that she was doing around this time. She was calling everyone a Quango. Like, she had just learned about the word, I guess, or she had heard it. And she thought, like, oh, that sounds like a funny word to call someone. And so she repeats it over and over again, okay? I don't think she does it that much in this video, but...
Hugo Boss did them, and he was really good at his job, and that was the point, because being cool was the point. Right, like, it's like saying that, like, villains can look cool. There are a lot of villains that look cool. Like,
So, I said this in the original video, I think, okay? But me personally, I don't really like the Nazi uniforms. Like, everybody says Hugo Boss is... The uniforms, they were really good, they were really cool looking. Like, they were, like, tailored, right? They were well-fitted to the, you know, the genocide heirs that wore them. But they just, they're, you know, they're not that cool, I feel like. I don't know. Am I crazy? Like, the Nazi uniforms are just kind of meh.
Darth Vader, for instance, looks cool. And even, like...
The color was, you know, terrible choice, right? I don't know if you've seen them in color, but they were this ugly, like, gray, blue. It's like this, this darker shade of gray-blue.
Like,
not good.
Right, who, like, is intentionally, like fugly and gross. People love the unlimited power thing that he did. People think that's really cool. People say it all the time, right? So, yeah, it's like that they try to go for.
Yeah, people think that's so cool.
That was an intentional decision by them, right? So, like, there are so many examples of villains that have absolute fucking aura. Like, Ron Druid, for instance, from Made in Abyss. Like, he's got, like, giga aura, right? But he's a bad guy. There's something broken in his brain, like, where he has...
You know, there are villains with lots of aura, and are cool. It's just that you failed to name even one of them. Right? Like, Hitler isn't one of them. Hitler is just in... Like, first of all, he's not even like a cartoon villain, you know? He was a real person that, you know, destroyed millions of lives. But, you know, I'm not gonna, like, liberal finger wag you or whatever. But, there are way cooler villains, like, Magneto, Doom, right? Victor Von Doom. I don't know, I could probably think of Joker, right? Joker's a better villain.
Well, connecting, like,
unironically,
to, like, being a bad thing. Like, he's missing, like, a sort of empathetic thing. He's basically, like, a psychopath, right? Bondred is essentially a psychopath, but he's still cool despite that, right? Idea that, like, we're going to take that and then say, well, in the modern context of, like, people saying that he's cool, and the thing is, like, even then, like, you could make an argument that, like, in the public perception, especially amongst trolly people, that they would consider him to be cool, even if the things he did is bad. Like, you could separate the two things, right? But people are like, hold on, I explained this, like, so in depth. Isn't it interesting that in the modern era we only get sympathetic, morally gray, and complex villains, but no nuance for real bad guys? Oh my god.
So in
depth. It makes
depth.
Perfect sense. Nicodemus, actually, it makes perfect sense, because in order to create a truly evil villain, because every villain is like, well, almost every villain, there's, like, you know, a level of, like, psychopathic villain that doesn't fit this mold, but that's, like, actually very rare. Almost every villain believes that they're the hero, right? Even if they're doing something completely off. I'm sure Hitler thought he was a hero. I'm sure Stalin thought he was a hero. Like, all of these people thought that they were doing the right thing.
Yeah, those two are not on the same level.
What you're saying makes sense is because the reason why a lot of villains are like that nowadays is because I feel like the villains nowadays are just projecting the darkness of the writers, but, like, directly, not, like, indirectly. Like, it's literally like them, but, like, if they could get away with it. Does that make sense? So, like, I think they're not actually emulating the villains, right? Because, like, to write a good villain, to be a writer that writes a good villain, you would have to put you have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to emulate that villain in your mind, simulate their actions based on what their motives are, their impetus, their telos. You'd have to, like, simulate all of that, take it into yourself, emulate it in order to write them. Not even emulate, just to simulate really. And if they can't do that, then they can only write villains that are in line with something they would do. Does that make sense? They write villains that are literally what they're capable of, rather than what other people could be possibly capable of, rather than what the villain they're writing would be capable of. They're writing what they themselves would be capable of. And if you think of it in that context, it makes sense. The madman never thinks he's mad. In his mind, he's the same one, and everyone else is crazy. By G.K. Chesterton. They can't create a theory of mind that's outside of themselves. Exactly. Honestly, I think that's the problem with, like, so much of this world. But, like, to be honest, it's a combination of things. It's a combination of tetraethyl lead. I'm gonna go back and still blame that guy, because the tetraethyl lead dropped the general intelligence of humanity by, like, a lot. We would be way smarter, like, as human beings. As a whole, would be smarter.
That's not really accurate.
So, like, he created the foundation by creating a situation in which everybody's dumber. Oh, thank you, mommy. Can I have some more hot tea? I love you. She's getting me some tea. She got me some allergy meds because she can hear me sniffling. What is the dragon's treasure code? Leaflet. Code leaflet. But anyway, right.
For those of you that don't know, tetraethyl ethyl lead was a chemical in gasoline, and it gave boomers, our parents, lots of brain damage, okay? But only if they grew up in cities, okay? Lead is a heavy metal, and it floats to the ground, right? It's in the gasoline, it burns up in the engine, and it goes out it shoots out the exhaust, and then you breathe it in the air, and it hurts you, right? It hurts your brain, okay? That's true. That's true. But if you're in a rural area, there aren't that many cars, and lead doesn't, like, linger around in the air. It floats to the soil, okay? And then it may end up in the drinking water or the food supply, right? But that's not as that's not, like, as directly accessible to your bloodstream as your lungs. So generally the worst of the brain damage came from living in cities, okay? And that's why if your boomer parent is from a big old city, they are probably severely stupid, if you haven't noticed.
So tetraethyl
There you
reduced
go.
humanity's general capacity for intelligence by like a lot, and then on top of that, schools stopped teaching people
That's
the study
not
of learning
accurate.
and the study of thinking. Right? It became like this is the thing, repeat the thing. Like this is the absolute
That's
truth.
not
Repeat the truth,
accurate
and
either.
These are the evidence. Discover the truth for yourself, or work through your thought process to understand that. Do you see what I mean? What is tetraethyl? Okay, so
When have schools ever taught you that? When have they ever taught you that? When did they stop doing it? Was it when woke took over, or could it be that our educational institutions were gutted by a particular president in the 80s, and now we're in the situation that we're in now? Okay, that is true, okay, but the real reality, the real truth, is that school was never, ever about teaching you things, about teaching you to critically think. It's all about creating good, efficient workers. That's what it's always been about, man.
A long time ago, gas had
That's
a
it.
problem with engine knocking, where it would reduce like the fuel efficiency of like cars. And in order to prevent that like kind of misfiring, they were trying to find a compound that would lower the engine knocking, which would increase the efficiency of fuel. And what they discovered was, they tried all of this shit. They came across a perfect solution, which is tetraethyl lead. To them, it was a perfect solution, right? But they knew it was bad. The people who made tetraethyl lead, but they were like, fuck it, like let's get rich. And so what happened was they started adding it, and it created a situation in which lead started to become aerosolized and it's in the air. We all know that lead is toxic in terms of the human body, and it specifically affects your brain, right? So they kept pushing that this tetraethyl lead is good, and the guy went on he went on media tours, like huffing it basically. Like he would be like, look guys, it is totally safe, and he'd take like a giant fucking like breath of it. And be like,
Okay, so I remember this. I actually looked this up after this video came out. And the guy actually, he didn't go on a tour, okay? He went, he did one press conference where, I think he huffed it, and he also poured it all over his hand. He poured liquid tetraethyl lead. And he got extremely sick from it and ended up in the hospital. And that's really funny, you know, but he ended up surviving, and he continued to preach about how great tetraethyl lead is. Now, if you're wondering why he did this, what possessed the man to go and do that, well, a bunch of Ford factory workers ended up dying because of exposure to tetraethyl lead. And for that reason, he was like, oh, I'm gonna go do that. And then he did that, ended up in the hospital. He did recover, but, you know, I believe he had, like, lifelong, you know, chronic injury
really
because
funny.
of
Like, is
it.
it bad if I'm willing to sniff it like this? And then what happened was he would do that. He would go on a sniffing tour, and then he would go on vacation to like get it out of his system, right? So like they knew that it was bad, but they did it anyway.
Yeah,
and
no.
now everybody's more stupid because of it. Like the entirety
Get
of
it
humanity,
out
because
of his
the lead
system.
it's an environment now, right? All of the tetraethyl lead that was burned, all that gas that was burned, is in the air. So by default, everyone is more stupid because of that. Yeah. So anyway, you take that, right? Which
Yeah, no, and see, that's not accurate either. Okay, it's not in the air still, right? At least ideally, it isn't. Now, with that being said, tetraethyl leaded gasoline is still sold in some places in the country. So everything I said is true. Like you know, it went into the air and it doesn't really stay in the air. Okay, most of it floats down and permeates into the soil. But there are some rural places where you can buy leaded gasoline because of old, antiquated farm equipment. Okay, there's some farm equipment that needs leaded gasoline to work, and the government basically, you know, gives farmers a special pass.
lowers the
okay,
general
so they
intelligence
can
of
buy
humanity,
it.
which is necessary for the capability of simulating things, and the capability of complex thought. Intelligence is required for that, for, like at a base level, right? That doesn't mean that like you couldn't elevate your ability to do this like through force training, but it's not. It's mostly rooted in like you have a base stat, right? Anyway, so that plus schools really teaching people to use the muscle. You know, I mean, obviously, I mean, you know, figuratively, the muscle of thinking for yourself and coming to conclusions for yourself, like observing evidence, observing reality, and then coming to a conclusion based on what you observe. Nowadays, they teach you like, oh, you know, here's the thing, learn this thing, and that's it. Like just say it over and over again. Do you see what I mean? We also accommodate the slowest learner. You know,
Yeah,
so-
so like I said, there has never been a time in this country's history where the education hasn't had plenty of rote memorization. Like, it's never been that way. I don't know what the fucking fuck you're smoking,
So
dude?
that's also
Crack?
is we've kind of created that situation as well, where we don't
What?
really try to help out gifted people, and we try to keep everyone at the same rate, which lowers the total quality. So like all of these things together have been a kind of, even if not unified, they've been a total assault on any sort of rational thought, which is why you see so many people that are just like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you don't get this, right? And it's really confusing, but when you think about it, it kind of all makes sense. Like, I couldn't have explained this any easier, I think, more comprehensively. I don't think I could have, like, in a lot of cases, I would chalk it up to a misunderstanding. Like, I'd be like, okay, well, you misunderstood what I said. Let me clarify what I said, and like, hopefully, like, you'll understand me now. It's not one of those. It's not a case of that. It's not a case either of a person being misled, where a person cropped what I said, and they intentionally set it up to mislead them. This was uploaded in its whole form. So, like, we can rule those out, right? We can rule out misdirection, and we can rule out misdirection. So, like,
All you said is that Hitler is cool in certain situations. And so then the question is, okay, what exactly are those situations, Leaflet? If you think Hitler is cool, like, sometimes, okay, alright, well, I don't think he's cool sometimes, me personally. But, I'd like to hear when exactly you think Hitler is cool
then, right?
and
Like,
when
I
he's
think
not.
we can rule out misunderstanding, we can rule out misdirection. I explained this as comprehensively as possible, so I don't think there's a way I could have more
Not
comprehensively...
as comprehensively as possible, because you didn't specify when Hitler is cool and when he's not. That's what I want to know.
It's a processing issue. It's an issue of a software incompatibility or a hardware.
James says, I'm late. What is this video about? This video is about Leaflet letting a child get groomed on her Discord server. And also, it's about Hitler and how cool he is. And also, it's about Loli, simulated child sexual material. Correct answer, Hitler was never cool. Wow, you're blowing my mind right now, man.
It's one or the other. Probably
damn.
not the only people that they would consider.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that Hitler is never cool in any context, any little situations?
Did I not?
Are you
I
sure?
Said, even if the things he did is bad, you can separate the two things. This is what I mean. Like, this is as comprehensive as possible, right? But people are just like incapable of this for some reason. It's the same thing where like Hitler would say
So
and everyone
comprehensive.
would automatically think that it's
So
opposite of
very
the same, even though it's not even
comprehensive.
false. Like, it's kind of the joke of like, well, Hitler breathed air, so you breathe air too, so like that must mean that you're a bad person. It's kind of like that level of like logical just ineptness. This is what I mean. So they uploaded this whole, they uploaded this whole, and they still don't get it. You do not under any circumstance, any at all, have to hand it to Adolf Hitler. So what was the context of the video though? The context of the video was Ben Shapiro using the conversation with Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan to attack Piers Morgan. So it's not like I just got up all of a sudden and was like, yo, I'm gonna glaze Hitler. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not even what happened. I don't know how the people who send me these clips even
That
respond
is
to
a
things
little
like, oh, shit, she's
bit
not good at
what
she does.
happened.
Don't I have like over 1,000 viewers right now? Just confused. Like, where does that come from? Like, how do you measure that? How do you measure
Like, you didn't have to say that, right? You did glaze Hitler, okay, and you didn't have to, right? You could have just said nothing. You know, you could have just like waited for the interview to be over so you could stop listening to it. But you didn't do that. You glazed Hitler. So
to be honest, you're pretty cool, but if you went down and murdered 6 million people, I'd stop calling you cool. To be fair,
I don't care about that sort of thing myself. I care when abuse is required for the media to exist. But whatever, get rid of it or don't. Bigger fish to fry. Like friends of Epstein who rule the world. 3rd time's a charm. Are you talking about Loli? Yeah, I don't really share that opinion, but we'll get there
pretty cool, but if you
when
went
she
out and
gets
murdered 6 million
there.
people, you would stop calling
Don't
calling
worry.
cool. But why?
Don't worry. Leaflet's gonna talk about it soon.
Twitch says, you're pretty cool, but if you
Yeah,
went
she
out and
loves
murdered 6 million people,
that
stop calling
shit.
cool.
That's
But
what she
you know
lives
so
for.
even in this video, even in this specific video,
Yeehaw!
I gave the scenario in which he would be cool. Does that make sense? Like, is he cool? So, okay,
First 2 attempts posted got automated. My bad.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, Leaf, I'm not surprised that account is Vince. He's one of the people who tried to deplatform Kirsha. I mean, I can see that now. I can totally see that being the case. Bro's blaming VTubing like normal streamers don't have Hitlers like the one literally behind. Okay, so now they're hold on.
Yeah, I forgot to change that. Let's do it right now. How do you do that anyway? Moderation setting. Stream manager. Channel setting. Streaming tool. Alright, I'm gonna just look it up. It's in setting. It's not. No, that's not where it is. Okay, maybe I'm stupid. Okay, no, I'm not stupid. Alright, we'll go to moderation settings. Ah, here it is. Okay. Oh, I already have it on custom. Okay. Well, interesting. Wow. Alright. How do I save this? I think it did it. No, I think I just changed it. Boom. Yeah, alright. There you go. It's slightly better now. You're welcome.
So VTuber enjoyers are now defending VTubing because they're saying that, oh, I see, they attacked all of VTubing. Okay, that's like kind of a stretch. Especially when a lot of VTubers, like, I'd say that I'm kind of, I'd say that right-wing VTubers are definitely the outlier. I'm not even right-wing like that hard, honestly. I'm pretty, I wouldn't say centrist. I'm pretty moderate right. Again, I'm like about as far right as Asmongold is to the left. It's kind of weird to make this claim when there's a lot of VTubers, obviously, that most VTubers, I think, are more likely to be on the left than on the right. So this is just a weird statement in the first place. And then there's the defense here of it, so it's kind of funny. Her voice is actually an auditory attack. Oh my god. I reserve the opinion that VTubing isn't unique. It's nowhere near new. It's just a modern version of PNG tubers. VTubers are just people. Okay, speedrunning the grift. This is unsustainable. What is the grift? What is the grift? The grift is that I say what I believe. In fact, like, I go so far as to say, like, I'm one of the least.
The grift is that you say that Hitler is cool to appeal to groypers or some shit. I don't know. Like, sometimes I really do wonder what fucking audience Leaflet is even aiming for. You know, it's a mystery to me.
VTubers, like, to be honest, like I'm just being like on the by the definition of grift, right? Like a person who says a lot of things they don't believe. I don't think that's fair. Being cool is subjective, and the person calling him cool is expressing that perspective, so to them they're cool. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good way to put it. Thank you, DJQ. Don't I say all the time what I believe in, even if it pisses people off? Like, I say what I believe in constantly, like, even if it's against, like, the conservative, like, block, you know? So it's like, I don't understand, like, how that would be the case. I just don't think this is very accurate. Like, you can say I'm an asshole, but I don't know about grifter. Like, grifter's just not. I miss when VTubers was just anime girls kissing. That's never been the case. So, like, did they watch
There certainly is no grift for extreme racism. Am I right, guys? There is nobody. There is no audience for that sort of thing. Am I right?
And that's their entire experience with VTubing. I think you're right, Creeper Hunter.
Yeah, man.
People are tourists because, like, that's the only way you would come to this conclusion.
For sure.
And that all you saw was timeline curated videos of, like, HoloLive girls kissing or something like that. That's like the only way this would be the case. This is so odd because I don't think a single VTuber has cumulatively disappointed me as much as Leaf. Others have fallen further, but she didn't start as high. But they didn't start as high in my esteem. Has cumulatively disappointed me. How do I disappoint people? You know, I have the realization that, you know, honestly, I think that's
by
unfair,
being
like,
an extreme racist Hitler lover, maybe. How do I disappoint people? I don't know.
I kept all of my opinions to myself.
Who knows?
Except for late night streams, where they would slowly seep out the cracks. And the reason why is because everyone told me that that's what I had to be. And I'm just being, like, honest with you guys. When I was VTubing before, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know what I wanted. Like,
Same reason a right-winger might decide to actually crap on Israel. It's convenient to the bigotry and the large audience who wants racism and anti-Semitism while claiming it's something else. Yeah, I mean, they don't even really do that, right? Like, they flip-flop around Israel, but the only thing that they're actually hard on is Jewish people. Okay, like, they're just anti-Semitic. Right? That's their anti-Israel stance. It's always about Jewish people. It's fucking crazy how they get away with it, man.
And so the funny thing is if you know me.
But literally, Asmongold, like 3 seconds ago, he was like, what did he say? He was like, stop caring about Israel. Stop liking Israel. Yeah, they stopped pretending over the past 2 years.
Seen me do this before. Everybody. And,
yeah.
Talking about, say what's up in chat and tell them that this is true. Every time I started a stream or I had to go back to stream, I would post a picture of Rimuru putting on a mask and I'd say time to get back to work. And so the reason why is because to me I was doing that, being what other people wanted me to be. Does that make sense? I'll explain it. Everyone told me that I had to be a certain way if I wanted to be a VTuber, if I wanted to quote unquote make it. That's what everyone told me. And I don't even think it was bad advice. I think to them it was good advice. Like, they thought that was what was necessary. And the reason is when presented with a void, people will project their own beliefs onto other people. So often they don't know and support an imaginary phantom. So when I started out VTubing, everyone told me that, and you have to understand that. And if you're an old school VTubing fan, you know what I'm talking about. You'll know what I mean. In that the old VTubing world was a lot more ingrained with, like, Japanese idol culture, and it was all about conforming and, like, being in that mold to not stick out too much. Like, in other ways, you wanted to stick out specifically in the, you know, I'm an idol, that's what I am sort of a thing, right? And this is why, like, by the way, the anime Oshinoko, it is painful to watch. It's, like, very fucking awful. Like when I watch that anime, like, fuck, it feels so bad. But no, it's a good show. It's a good show with really good writing, but it's very painful. Like, your experience watching it is gonna be different from my experience watching it. Like, my experience.
Yeah, so she's talking about a show here in anime that's about, like, an idol that is, like, coerced and abused by management. And you know, she's basically telling her audience, like, oh, you guys wouldn't understand, but I have this secret knowledge that I can't share with you. Like, why not? Why the fuck not?
It's kind of different for me, but
we can understand. Oh, it's different for me. It's so different. Yeah, dude.
Okay, everyone told me that I had to be that way, otherwise I wasn't gonna make it. And a ton of people told me this too. Like, and again, like, I'm not saying it's completely negative. Like, a lot of them were just saying that because they cared about me. And then late at night, I would talk more about, like, what I actually believed in while we were playing games. And then, man, I distinctly remember, like, just friends telling me, like, man, like, what are you doing? I'm so disappointed in you. Like, what? You're talking about those things. And I'm like, okay, that's not what a proper VTuber would do, right? And I was like, what? Like, they said, if you keep at it, you're never never gonna make it, is what they told me. And like I still remember that to this day. And then I just started to get like more and more miserable, you know, like more and more miserable, because I'm like just putting on. And the thing you have to understand, chat, is like I'm not idol material. Like I'm just not. I'm not that person. I didn't really become a VTuber. Glitter and the fame. It's not why I did it, right? I did it to survive, to be honest. So like my
yeah, you became a VTuber to glaze Asmongold every day, to glaze him up.
Same as other people's impetus, you know. In fact, the fame
That's
is really
what you
comfortable,
did.
to be honest. It's kind of the opposite. And it's like even now, like I'll have conversations with people and they'll be like, Leaflet, don't you know that like what you says matters? There's like so many people watching and like listening to what you say. What do you mean? Like it confuses me, right? Like even now, like when I look at the view count, like it's weird to me. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like I don't understand it, you know. And I'm like, why are so many people listening to me, right? Like it's confusing. And anyway, so I started to get like more and more unhappy, and like I kept posting the fucking mask, the mask emote, like every time. Like, I'll be talking to a friend. Oh, okay, I gotta go stream now. I gotta go to work, and I pop the mask emote. A funny note is today's the day I stopped using it. I told myself I'm not using the mask emote anymore. That's it. It's over. So I changed it to a magical girl. I changed it to I've been using like I'm gonna use like magical girl transformations instead. Sorry. So to loop back into what I was saying, I had a couple friends, and you know who you are. I'm gonna not call it out because I don't want to aggro on you. I had a couple friends who told me like, Lisa, you should just fucking do yourself. Like, what are you doing? You know, like you should just talk about what you care about. Like, stop this shit. Oh my god, you wanna know the weirdest thing? All right, I don't know how many of you have watched me for a long time. I'm sure some of you have. But does anybody remember the 1 week I tried to be an idol because everyone told me that's what I had to be? So I put on maximum mask for 1 week, and it was really fucking awful. I think about those streams now. I'm like, dude, those were so cringe. Like, holy fuck. No, it's not the emote streams. It was different. Like I went on, and like what I would do is I would get to my desk, put the mask on, and I'd be like, okay, switch on, completely change your personality, and just be that. Be exactly what people want you to be. And I did that for a week, and I couldn't handle it. You want to see it for shits and giggles? I don't remember when it was. It was around. I don't know when it was. Maybe like 2 years ago. That being said, right? Jack of all, thank you. I'll read out all the notifications at the end. Thank you for all of the support. I appreciate it. That being said,
It's probably just really
bad, right?
boring.
I think that's what you want to do.
Like more boring than your regular
Some
streams.
people want be something else or be the ultimate, you know, idol or whatever. If that's like your aesthetic and that's your ideal, then you should go for it. But for me, it was seeking what ideal. I wasn't seeking the ideal I wanted. I was seeking the ideal that people wanted me to be. Does that make sense? And that's when it's kind of unhealthy. My friend, like a couple of my friends just told me like, what are you doing? They're just like, fucking stop. Like just talk about what you want to talk about. Like, you know what you like. You know what you like. You like watching Andrew Wilson.
You like
and
being
watching
racist.
Warren,
Yeah,
and you like watching people comment on political shit, and you like talking
exactly.
about that.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
private. So why don't you just fucking talk about that? Like, what are you doing? And that was like when the YouTube channel started. That's actually what happened. Was they're like, listen, we're not using the YouTube channel. Just fucking talk about the shit you care about. But I'm not supposed to do that. It's like, no, but like, why don't you just do it anyway? Okay, you're right. Fuck it, because I don't care anymore, right? And so I started talking more about political stuff because that's what I actually cared about. And like anybody who knows me from that time, they know that that's the stuff I actually cared about. Because I was in like these like kind of secret discords, like secret wrong think Truba discords where we would talk about like political stuff, but it was like the wrong think crowd. I just started talking about it. Now I feel like I'm actually more me than I ever was as a content creator, right? Ugh, even saying that is so gross. But as a you know VTuber or whatever. And I think going back to what started this entire conversation, this is actually reasonable because it's reasonable if what you fell in love with in a romantic way, but in the same way you would fall in love with an anime, right? What they actually liked, what they fell in love with was not real. This is actually totally fair because the thing that they liked about me, the content they liked about me wasn't there anymore. What was left was actually me. They don't like the actual me. They like the mask me, which is understandable. I don't blame them for that, right? You see what I mean? Like how can you hate them for that? They just don't like it. You're free to like dislike.
I don't like
you're free to
either.
not like what I talk about, and you're free to.
I'd like you to like
and
hide
smile
away
and, dance for you,
and do nothing.
And anime, and you're free to
That'd be
like
my
that, and I think all the power
personal
to you, you know, like I wish you the
choice.
best. So I understand the disappointment. I truly do. This is a totally
But oh well.
appropriate comment. I think this is odd because there is a part of this I get and I agree with, but it never ended with me saying Hitler was cool or cool to his people. Like Hitler was charismatic and radicalized many people with nationalism and hatred, but there were also a lot of dissent against him.
See, that's not really accurate either, right? Like Hitler didn't charismatically. First of all, I don't personally think Hitler was that charismatic, okay? And some people will be like, "Oh, you just don't know history then, J-Star. You just don't." Okay, and it's like, did Hitler like fool a lot of people with his rhetoric? Sure. Right? Like the dumbest of the dumb. Yeah. But even though what he was doing was kind of new at the time, the way he was doing it, a lot of people, most people even saw through it. Okay, and remember, he lost. He lost the election. Okay, it was, it wasn't even close. Okay, the reason he became chancellor was because he made backroom deals. Okay, and in that way, he was charismatic. Okay, in his speeches, he was good at riling people up. That's not the same as charisma. Okay, he was good at making his base angry and resentful. You know, he was good at the call to action. You know, he could articulate well. He was a talented speaker. You know, he was. But to say that, like, he was cool to his people, right, that's inaccurate. And I don't really know if that's what this person was saying. Well, they did say he was charismatic and radicalized many people. But he radicalized people that were already primed for radicalization. By their conditions, by their low intelligence, okay, low int score. They forget the media worked differently back then, and they just think he went on TV a lot, inspiring hatred, or speaking to formerly quiet bigotries. All this sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. And you're right, you know, Hitler didn't go on TV, right? There aren't very many recordings of his speeches. but there are a handful. And, like, you know, most of his words were, like, written and shared through transcripts. And manuscripts. That's it.
SS descent. So again, like coolness is just an adjective, so it depends on the context, right? So like for instance, right, if you were to say Leaflet is a nice person, well, what is the context in which you say that? Because like for instance, like if you look at my stories, the story where I got the scammer back and I fucked him over, was that a nice thing to do? Not really, right? So it's kind of in the context of like the actual situation. I would never idolize the things people are constantly calling idols to be. Well, that's you, right, Amateur? That's you. Everybody likes different things, and I think that's fine. I don't have any like thing to say really about if people like idols. That's kind of what they need in their life, and that's fine. Atma Cloud, thank you so much for this up as well. I don't know, like the way I view things now is like so different. Yeah, just the way I see things is really different now. By the way, the whole fake, you're allowed to disagree with me and dislike what I say. Meanwhile, blows a gasket when she gets criticized, and oh, I know you. Yo, it's that it's the infamous Plague Doctor Gaming. By the way, love the whole fake. You're allowed to disagree with me and dislike what I say. Meanwhile, blows a gasket whenever she gets criticized and lashes out. Wait, am I blowing a gasket right now? These people are literally criticizing me.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. And lashes out by calling them the R slur. Yeah, because they're retarded, right? Like I'm just, you know, I'm saying that what it is. They're retarded, so I'm calling them retarded. No, this guy's kind of infamous. This guy's been like on Discord.
Yeah, I'm not mad, guys. I'm not mad. I'm so not mad right now.
Doctor Gaming? Like actually, like if you want to talk about it,
I'm so unmad.
Seconds of fame. Let's see what you're about.
I am happy.
Allowing mods and people to be borderline predatory towards minors.
Ah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you mean. Plague Doctor Gaming says at Mendel's there's a difference between patriotism and nationalism. Nationalism is historically bad. This is historically bad. Do we have a different definition of nationalism? What's your definition of nationalism? Wait, did you stop talking? Where are you at, Plague Doctor? By the way, love the whole fake. You're allowed to disagree with me and dislike what I say. Meanwhile, blows a gasket whenever she gets criticized. No, I don't really blow a gasket when people criticize me. That's not really true. And I call them the retard because they're a retard. That's why. It's not really complicated. Diddy Roach, I was really excited to have a conversation. But if I was so afraid, like put it this way, if I was so afraid of you disagreeing with me, not risking a ban on Twitch, wait, why not? You want to go on kick? You can go on kick. But why are you not risking? Wait, what do you mean not risking a ban on Twitch? What do you have to say to get banned on Twitch? What do you mean? Yeah, that's kind of sus. Wait, what do you mean? Like, what could you possibly say to get you banned on Twitch? But like, if I was if I was afraid of people disagreeing with me, and if I wasn't the type of person to say that
I remember this. I was really hard on Mr. Plague Doctor when I originally reacted to this, because I hate it when people go into these like right-wing dipshits, their chat, and they like try to argue with them, and they just suck at it, and they like, and they become like little bitches. They like little scared bitches. Like, why? Like, you could tell me, right, it's asymmetrical, she's the streamer, she can communicate in real time, they have to, like, type everything, right? And that's true, okay? You are on, you know, the game is rigged from the start when you're arguing with a streamer. But, still, I don't know, like this person just kind of sucks. But let's keep listening.
Explain why I'm letting you disagree with me right now. Like I guarantee you, if you did this shit,
Tazuto is her token liberal friend.
It's hard to understand. I've been suspended before for saying the R word as an example during an argument. Okay, just say the R word then. Like you can do that, right? Like if saying retard,
he's a Destiny fan.
In chat, then just say the R word. Like you can replace that, right? Like in your argument. So go ahead, replace it with R word. The R word. Like isn't this what you want? Like you came on here and you're yelling at me, and I'm actually giving you the attention that you want. Isn't that nice of me? Holy fuck, I'm so nice. It's crazy. Like me even doing this basically refutes your point in the first place. Of saying you're allowed to disagree with me, just like what I say. Meanwhile, blows a gasket. Like this already refutes what you have to say, because I'm literally engaging with you in good faith. And it's like I said, like if that were the case, then like I wouldn't be friends with Tazuto. I wouldn't be friends with Saber Wolf either, because Saber Wolf's a classical liberal. I disagree with him on a lot of shit. I disagree with Julio on a lot of shit as well. Julio's like a Catholic nationalist. Like chat probably agrees. Well, not all of chat, but like a large amount of chat probably agrees with Julio more than with me rather. I'm trying to understand what's your point even is about the R word. So like I don't want to risk Twitch smacking me. Okay, so what's your point? So you're saying that you think that me saying you're allowed to disagree with me and dislike what I say, you're saying that that's fake. So I'm asking you for the proof. How's that fake? Meanwhile, I blow a gasket whenever I get criticized and lashes out on people calling them the R slur. So right now you're criticizing me. I'm not blowing a gasket, and I'm explaining to you that I call people retard because they are retards from my point of view. I mean it like in the sense of the word, really. Like the full extent of the slur, I mean it. But I can use Quango if you like. I mean, I'm fine with that too. Yeah, just don't say the R word. Just like, you know, use your words, you know, your regular words. Do I take call-ins? It's kind of risky because like call-ins, people, you know.
I like it how she still calls it a slur.
You know, I know Tazuto,
but most of the time the tactic is like, you know, the R word isn't a slur, right? That's what people say. But she's like, no, actually it is a slur, and I fucking love saying it. Like, okay. Why does Twitch not ban people for saying this shit? I do not understand.
About Twitter people disagreeing with you or people associated with you.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I just think they're wrong. Like, I think that they're wrong and that they're retarded. That's it. And I always explain why I think they're wrong. I don't just call them like stupid usually. I usually explain why they're wrong, right? But,
well, I mean, you don't say much more than they're stupid. Like, yeah, I guess you could say you say more than just that, but
talking to you right now disprove it. Because
not really though.
And it's like I said, like if you did this to almost any other streamer, they would just ban you. But I haven't banned you, right? It's like obviously if people criticize me, I'm allowed to like have a rebuttal, right? I mean, you would, right? Like if I made like a public post like calling out the Plague Doctor Gaming and I said a bunch of shit about you that wasn't true, like wouldn't you present a rebuttal to that? If you would, right? Like anyone would. Paramount, the issue, some of her responses are either not good faith or just insulting people's argument. Do you have an example? So like, okay, so I will agree with you in that I would do that. I would do that, but only if the other person is not associating in good faith in the first place. Then I would just call them a retard because it's pointless. Also talk to me, not to Paramount. Like, what are you doing? You're doing the Tazuto thing. Like you talk to other people, but I'm talking to you right now. Not really responded to you. I'm just responding to someone that was directly.
Talk to me. Don't talk to anyone else.
Focus on things that other people are gonna say, then like we're never gonna get anywhere. Like I can't do this forever. You know what I mean? Like that's why like you should just talk to me instead of like other people. If you don't talk to me at all. It's like I know you don't have that. I'm not trying to like be mean, but you don't have the typing speed to like talk to multiple people at the same time. They're wasting my time to be funny. Well, I mean, I'm getting to talk to chat too, so it's not really too bad, you know? I get to spend some quality time with chat while I'm waiting. Well, that's because I'm trying to process my argument before I actually say it, and some of the examples are videos where you call people insults like calling them mentally ill or freaks. Okay, but are they mentally ill and freaks? Not really, no. So can you give me like an example? Like if I say it so much, you should be able to get an example, right? Like I just want to know the context of like a specific one.
Who the fuck is Leaf It?
So I can explain it. Bro's squandering this time to talk directly to you for a real conversation. Thank you, Grant Game Freak. Thank you, Zelvab. Thank you. I don't want to read it because I don't want to create any ill will. Jacinda Banana, thank you for the 1,000. I like your content. Anyone who doesn't can take a frosted frog from Elementary. Well, I mean, like if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's fine. So you can't think of an example. So like you just think the thing, but then you don't really have an example that you can go off of. Okay, but would you think this is fair though? Like if they did say something, right? Like Doctor, because you're claiming you don't know of any situations in which this happened, right? So like, isn't it possible that they said something that would lead me to believe that they are mentally ill or a freak? Because they could be a freak or they could be mentally ill, right? According to my definition of it, right? Because I'm pretty sure every time someone has an argument, I actually engage with the argument. Almost always, actually. In fact, sometimes I take people's arguments too seriously. So I just don't really think it's an accurate portrayal, like what you're saying. Hold on, there was like something I had. Hold on. You can't debate spellcasters. You can only cast spells back at them. Yeah, that's kind of like how it is with me. Where like if a person like comes, okay, this is the rules of conduct for me, right? Is if a person engages in bad conduct, then they've changed the rules of the game. And so like, by what they said, they changed the rules. So
I have never really heard you engage with someone else's argument. I have only ever heard you talk past people. And it's not like when you've debated people, they've actually presented something, like, concrete, right? Like something you can't just talk past. But yeah, I mean, you've never really had a real debate with somebody that knows what they're doing, to my knowledge. Unless you just, like, didn't upload it. But I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened. I would have heard about it.
Generalize and call them mentally ill freaks if they're left-leaning or have a take on religion